This is Dan Beveridge. He's a golf pro in the area. Very good. He actually taught me the basics, so he knows what he's talking about here, and he's going to give us a couple of tips for all of our golfers that are on the page, okay?
Hi,
Take it away.
I'm Dan Beveridge. I run Golden Years Golf. It's a tiny little teaching company that teaches basically people, like the title ensues, Golden Years, 50 years and older. That's my specialty. And it was born after I watched someone get a lesson that was over 50 years old and realized that unfortunately he wasn't able to physically do what he was being asked to do. And I've watched that my entire career, and everybody's heard that everybody doesn't swing the same. Well, there's a reason, and that's because of the physicality and the knowledge. So I was always after trying to tie in the physical aspects of the body to the golf swing. So I got hurt real bad in my back, and I met this guy, and he straightened me out, and I'm back on the road to it, and I wanted to tie in all this together, so here we are. I'm a big believer that everybody can play this game for a long time, but if there's injuries and there's weaknesses in the body and you're being asked to do something that your body just can't possibly do, such as hold the club correctly. Notice I didn't use the word grip because I don't believe in it, but you hold the club correctly, your body responds to it just like it would to go open your door of your car, right? You don't have to tell your body to move a certain way because you're going about it in the right fashion. You would never take a 9/16 wrench and try to put it on a 1/2-inch bolt. That's bizarre, and that's what we're doing when we don't know how to hold the club correctly. Again, it's a position, just like anything else is. That allows your body to move correctly. Now, I've always believed in that, and I never had the professional people help me explain it better until here we are.
So why don't we go over some stuff that you teach on a frequent basis, just kind of give them a little, little mini lesson here, just to give them a tip.
Let's start if just by how we put the hands on a golf club. Okay, now this is going to be done for a right-handed player. Okay, so the left hand is the top hand. It's the top hand going toward the top of the grip. I see a lot of that kind of position, where the handle of the golf club is in the palm of their hand. Then they wrap their hand around it, and then they try to place the right hand on it, and that's what we get. When we get that, that's called a weak position, not weak in strength, weak in position. So, how can we, once we hold on to the golf club with the other hand, if you notice 99% of the people will grab the right hand on the club the correct way, and that's down in their fingers. Now I explain this to people by saying, okay, this is a hammer, and I want you to take this hammer, and I'm going to ask you to hit a little nail like you're going to hang a picture. I've never seen anybody not grab the hammer in the fingers like that. Because in the fingers, you have more flexion in your wrist. If you didn't, you'd have to use the hammer this way in the palm, and then we'd have to do that. You'd have to use our entire body. Our body's not made to do that. Our body's made to do this and respond to the movement, to our intent, responds to intent. From there, we hold the golf club correctly. We sit it down behind the golf ball, and this now allows our body to get into a position that's athletic. Now there's some cute buzzwords everybody's using today, and that's using the ground. We all use the ground every day if we're walking. So what we do is we go from our hips, and those hip joints are back here. You can feel them in your thumbs. Dave taught me how to do this. You go from here, and then all you do is flex your knees, and you can feel the pressure into the ground. And I'm going to use his phrase, the more you use that, the more you push into that ground gives you more. Double probably. So what have you done? You've activated the biggest muscle in your body, right? And you can stand there. Now the club will move correctly. Now you'll be able to move and respond to what you want to do.
So Dan, tell everybody what tends to happen when you have a tense grip. Like
Well, tension is the speed killer. And everybody wants to hit it further and further and further, so what'll happen is tension, stiffness, right, this straight left arm crap, and then lift. Right, so I've come out of position just because I have to, right? It has to support it, so I have to go up. But if I put it back down on my fingers and the club will hinge from here, now all we do is go from here.
So you're starting to use your arms more instead of using your body, like your...
Yeah, it's a response, right? It's responding to the winding action. I mean, I don't want to get too technical here, but you actually wind from the earth, just like you walk from the earth, right? We wind up this way. We wind up. We don't turn. I mean, for me, that's a terrible word because I can turn this way. Right?
It's kind of like you're calling it a spring.
Yeah. You're coiling, right? You're coiling. You're this way. And from there, you see what happened. My body responded, and I'm 107, so it's pretty easy.
You're good for 107.
Oh, you got me here.
Okay, good. So yeah, so that was a good lesson about how you should hold the golf club so that basically you can, like you said, allow the body to do what it's supposed to do. So you can actually move from the hip, move from the upper back, coil everything up, and then it's like you're just unloading on it. So it shouldn't feel like you're, straight.
Yeah, and if everybody's heard, well, you don't have to be that strong to hit it a long way. Yes and no, right? So if my hips aren't strong enough, I can't coil, right? Because I can't even flex from the hips. Now this is all his stuff, and this is lady stuff. You gotta listen to them about that. And that's why I do this with them, because I'm a big believer in it. So you can't get to, if this isn't, and this isn't strong, and I don't mean by lifting weights, I mean just by doing the exercise that they can give you from here to be able to do that. You've all heard, well, we're gonna let our arms hang. Well, that's because your hips aren't real good and you're sitting and you've heard you sit on a bar stool and you get comfortable and then you sit from here. Well,
yeah. So that position that Dan's in right now, he's putting a lot of strain on his quads, which can lead to knee problems. So we want to make sure that we're more hinged at the hip, because that will start to fire our hips and rotate our hips.
Yeah, I'm always telling everybody that this when I coach, that this part, my tailbone, I want that tailbone going toward a wall, going backwards. And you can watch people, they'll get here like this, and then all of a sudden they start sinking, and they go, okay, we got hip problems here. And then I dial 911, and he takes over, and she takes over.
Yeah.
That's the name of this game, that's what we do.
Yeah. Okay, good. I had a question too. So basically, we watch a lot of pros because we try to emulate pros like Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, all that stuff. And they talk about lag, they talk about all this stuff, right? So as, because our audience is more in the 50s, 60s, 70s.
Right.
Just like yours, right?
Yeah.
So how important is it to focus on that kind of stuff opposed to just coming through and
well, it's interesting that you bring that up, Dave, because a lot of times when I first meet somebody and they're first coming to me, they've been recommended by somebody. The first thing, after an introduction, hi, I'm Dan Beveridge, hi, I'm Joe Bag of Donuts. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Well, I don't want to be a tour player. That's a pretty good choice that man's made. He's never going to be a tour player. So why do you want to swing like a tour player for? You can't. But you can get into a position that your body will support the motion. So, and everybody swings the golf club differently. And if you watch the golf on the weekend, which finally came back on television, look at Matthew Wolff. He doesn't look like a Rory McIlroy, and Dustin Johnson doesn't look like Matthew Wolff. You can swing a lot of ways, but their body is responding because right now, they're elite athletes now. But you don't have to be an elite athlete, but if your back is bad because your hips are bad, and I don't want to get too deep into this because that's not my bailiwick, but that's what these people do. So again, I'm a huge believer in you have to have both. If Bubba Watson said I could never do what I do if my physical trainer if my physical therapist wasn't with me 24/7. He travels with them. Think about that. So you see people do things on television and you go, oh, I could do that. No, that ain't happening. But can you get better and more relaxed and have more fun? Absolutely. And that's what we do.
Yeah. So it's all about, you know, playing into the later years of your life and enjoying what you do and not having pain while you're doing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's all about, I want to have more fun. You know, I've never seen anybody come to me or come to these people and say, well, I want to be worse when I walk out the door. You know, you want to have more fun. That's why you're playing golf. And people down here, they're playing 3-4 times a week. That's a tax on your body. I promise you it is.
I remember the first time we played, you know, I got tired after the third hole. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
It's like I'm using muscles I've never used before, and this is starting.
That's right. That's right. You did it. You're 100% correct. I never forget that. Oh my God, I can't believe you did it. Yeah, how you like that, big fella? You know, I mean, that's
all
what happens.
for sissies.
Yeah, and that's why people, you know, these kids are being trained to be elite athletes now. They have physical therapists with them all the time when they travel. There's people who who stays and brings his mattress with him all the time. He has to have his body in shape. That's just the way it is. You don't have to be an Adonis. You don't have to be as good physically as these two are. I mean, that takes a lot of work, folks. I mean, I've been working with Dave for a long time, and I'm not even, I just start to laugh when I think of it. But you have to understand it, and you have to do it. It's the only way you get better and have more fun.
And so, Dan, can you explain how you can be relaxed but then still feel the muscles working after a round of golf and how that plays into your hand position on the club?
Sure. So we're going to get up again. So if I hold the golf club incorrectly, or if I position my club in my hands incorrectly, again, I see more up in the palm than I see the other way. And so what happens is if you can get a picture of that, I've got an extra large hand as far as an extra large glove is concerned. And now I'm going to put my club in my palm where I see it most of the time. And now I'll show you that this pinky can't hold the golf club. I can just pull that off. I mean, it's not going to hold it. So what am I going to do? What's my brain going to tell me to do? The moment I start to move this, I have to squeeze it because it can't support it. So I'm tight in my forearm, my shoulder, my bicep, right? And so what happens now is you're doing this, your body's going to respond to your intent, I promise you. So you do this. Now watch, I'm going to try staying here for a while. I'm going to fall over. So what's that going to create? That creates more tension here to keep you there, and you do this. And then somebody comes along and tells you you're not turning. You can't. From here, what'll happen is you have to, because we hate weight, right? The human body hates weight. We're all taught to bend down. That's pretty impressive. See that again? Yeah. So you bend down, right? And you have structure, right? You go down this way. So from here, my hips are back. I've got the club in my fingers. Fingers of the right hand. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind like a corkscrew up this way. And now you notice I haven't lost my flex in my chest, or I'm staying over it, or whatever anybody else wants to call it. But my intent is to hit that ball. So I'm gonna wind from here up. Now, somebody will say I've technically turned. I don't feel that. I just feel it. I've tried to get this here so I can hit it. And that goes. Now I've worked to do this. So when you come down, if you're tight, what happens is you come this way, or the quote-unquote over the top. Now the club's over here on the other side of the target line. You've got to make room for it because the grip's already at the ball. Up you go. Mm-hmm. Now, you play 18 holes like that. If you don't hurt, you come see me. I want to know how you do.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you for all those knowledge bombs that you thrown at us today. Tell everybody where they can find you at, your info,
you could call here, see if they can find me. No, there's a phone number at 239-298-4747, and that's Golden Years Golf. You can tell them that you saw me on Facebook. Leave a message and I'll get back to you. Okay?
Do you have a website or social
No,
media? or anything like that?
Instagram, yeah, Golden Years Golf.
Instagram.
All right.
Instagram Golden Years Golf.
That gram, baby.